New England Patriots training camp has begun, and Drake Maye had a hell of a first day. Stick around. You're about to be locked into this training camp edition of the Locked On Patriots podcast.
You are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello to all of you Foxborough faithful. Thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage, and also, and hopefully, your first listen each and every day. Remember, Locked On Patriots is not only a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, but we are also free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. So smash that subscribe button and download and follow Locked On Patriots wherever you're getting your podcasts to make sure that you get the latest episode as soon as it's available. I'm your host, Mike Debate. I cover your New England Patriots for the Patriots country. So reach out to me and let me know what's on your mind on X, on Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days, at MDABATE NFL. While you're out there showing some social media love to Locked On Patriots, please give our account a follow there as well at LO_Patriots. And today's episode, folks, is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Pats fans, time for the talk is over. Your New England Patriots have opened up 2024 training camp, a new era, a new dawn, and a new day in Foxborough. And if we're kicking off the most exciting day of the Patriots season thus far, who else would we bring in but the most electrifying guest we have here on Locked On Patriots? He is the Count of Murphy Fisto. He is the Green King of Sting, the Monster Master of Disaster. On occasion, he is the Dancing Destroyer, my good friend, the legend himself, Thomas Murphy. Thank you for coming to me today to help me kick off training camp in style. Don't Murph.
Oh, yeah, Paulie, more wine. More wine.
You look terrific out there.
Yeah. Go do your job. So I was up doing my job today. I was hiding in the weeds, sitting next to the wall and just taking in the sights. And it was a beautiful day in Foxborough. A new era has dawned. And Mike said that the time for talking is over. Well, yeah, it is. And no, it isn't, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to talk with you people about what happened on day one and, break down everything we saw and a few of the things we ate.
Absolutely. That's a good point. I'm glad. The time for the talk, folks, is not over because we'd be out of a job, and that's not a good thing. But the time for evaluation has just begun. And I think that's what we're going to do here today. A lot to evaluate, a lot to break down, an exciting day in Foxborough. It's opening day, Murph. We love it.
Yep.
I know it's not opening game day, but opening training camp day is special in football. It just is. It's Christmas in July, and there's an aura of invincibility in the air. Every team is 0-0. There's a chance anything could happen. You think back to the early days of 2000 when no one expected the Patriots to make the playoffs, and they're opening training camp at Bryant University in Rhode Island. And that team came together and won a Super Bowl. Anything can happen. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen here, folks. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate mail for that. But you understand that, there's a difference in the air. It always gets me thinking of movie Top Gun, Murph. I know you're a fan. Everybody's a fan. Any 80s child is a fan of the movie Top Gun. And it makes me think about one Commander Mike Metcalf, call sign Viper. Favorite character of our good friend Mark Schofield, by the way. Definitely want to give a tip of the cap to Mark because he consistently quotes this gentleman. And to me, every time I see the Patriots come out, take the field for the first time, I can hear Tom Skerritt's voice. Gentlemen, had a hell of a first day. And that's exactly what I thought about today while I watched the Patriots take the field, including Jerod Mayo saying that it is an exciting time and that he does feel a difference from last year to this year. And it is a lot different. The seat that he's in, the whistle he carries, the clout that he carries now is much different.
Time to buzz the tower.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Patriots did that. I think Drake Maye buzzed the tower at least once today. We're going to get into that in just a second. But Jerod addressing the media today, saying that it was an exciting day, dropped a couple of pearls of wisdom things that might be interesting to some of the fans out there. Anyone looking forward to padded practices? They will probably be about a week away. Jerod said that he wants the Patriots to practice at least 7 times or for 7 days without the pads. So,
Right.
unofficial calculation done by our good friend, our mutual friend Mike Reese of ESPN, August
Yep.
1st, looking like the first padded practice. So, if you're looking for the pads and a little bit of contact, folks, going to be a little ways away, but this is a young team. It's a new team with a new head coach. I understand where he's coming from. Jerod also saying that today's session on Wednesday was going to be about 90 minutes, which is exactly what it went, and that it was going to focus on a lot of early down work. And we saw Jacoby Brissett take some reps, and he looked pretty good today, other than one interception that was, I think more of a credit to the defensive backs rather than himself. But at the same time, all eyes were also on Drake Maye. He is the number 3 pick in the draft, Murph. Whether he is the opening day starter or not, attention is going to be on him. And I thought Drake delivered today. Unofficial statistics compiled by another one of our mutual friends, Mark Daniels of Mass Live. Drake completing 2 of 6 in 11 on 11s and 4 of 6 in 7 on 7 drills, but he delivered the play of the day, a 40 to 50-yard bomb, depending on some of the calculations that were done to receiver Jalen Reagor.
We'll go 40 plus on that. How about that?
40 plus
in
is
the middle,
good.
40 plus.
Exactly. I think 40 plus, that's a fair evaluation.
Hey.
And I like that. When you look at Drake Maye's first day, how would you rate Drake's first appearance in a Patriots uniform for real? Because now we're in the training camp.
Yeah, it's an A plus.
Hmm.
It's an A plus. It was kind of obvious that Drake has not spent a lot of time under center. There are some growing pains. There will be a learning curve. Like I said, he hasn't spent a lot of time under center, and that's what he's going to have to do in this Alex Van Pelt style offense that they're rolling with this year. There was one bad pass where he killed a couple of gophers, but it by all means was not terrible. I like the way he commanded while he was out there under center. It's obvious that as of right now, he is not the most game ready quarterback on the Patriots roster.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point because you look at what Jacoby Brissett did and his final statistical tally: 5 of 7 in 11 on 11s, 5 of 6 in 7 on 7s. Consistency, comfort level with the first team offense, because Jacoby was taking the reps with the first team offense, including a little bit of a new look offensive line. Murph and I are going to spend a whole segment on that in just a second. So we're going to shelve that for just a moment. But I thought Jacoby looked sharp. He looked in command. And he looked like the more seasoned of the quarterbacks out there. But I loved what I saw from Drake. And anybody that's clamoring to see this kid out on the field, I think what we saw, if we continue to see the same type of performance, the same type of bravado, and the same type of growth that we've seen, Drake looked like a more commanding quarterback today than in rookie minicamp and in mandatory minicamp. And that's what you want to see from a rookie. One thing that I really loved about what Alex had him doing, and maybe Drake deserves the lion's share of the credit for this, maybe Alex does by game plan, but a lot of the completions and a lot of the work that you saw Drake Maye taking were flats, check downs, short intermediate areas of the field. Again, like Jerod said, to open. Yeah, very nice shot to Juju. That was a really, really nice pass. If his shot to Reagor was the play of the day, and I don't think anyone will argue that. No. Yeah, I think the second best play of the day was that shot to Juju, and it was good to see him get that ball as well. Yeah, spread the ball around and be able to utilize it to some of his receivers. But it's a good thing that you saw Drake practicing these moves, and it goes back to what Jerod said to open the training camp practice. And he said it was going to be early down work. This is where a quarterback goes to work on early downs. They use the flats. They use the short check downs, intermediate areas of the field. That's what you need to see from Drake Maye, and I thought he did a good job of navigating that.
I agree, and hats off to Jerod Mayo for going about this the way he has. Usually in years past, you see Bill Belichick open up with total red zone stuff. Let's get into the red zone and let's score some points and see what we have here. What Mayo did was keep it in between the 20s, so these guys could get a rhythm going, get some progression going. Even without pads, this is really important. And Drake did really well, as so did Jacoby. It was a nice change of pace, shall we
Mm,
put it? You know,
very
I
well
mean,
put.
not as steamy as it has been in years past, and I think that has to do not only with the temperature, but in the way practice was laid out. You could tell that the guys had been in meetings early, went out and were able to execute what they took away from those meetings that happened in the morning, and it translated on the field really well.
Yeah, I do. I believe that. And look, I know we're giving a lot of love and a lot of press to the quarterbacks right now,
Yeah,
and we're spending a whole segment talking basically about Drake
sure.
Maye and Jacoby Brissett. But I want to give a lot of credit to the defensive backs as well, who went out there
Oh,
and
sure.
challenged
Yeah.
these wide receivers. Of course, Jacoby throwing a day's only interception. Big credit to Jonathan Jones on that. He deflected the pass. Kyle Duggar right in the right place at the right time. Once again, folks, not happenstance. That's by design. These guys work so well together in tandem. That defensive backfield, I
Yep.
think, is going to be such a strength for this
Oh
team.
my
I
God.
tip my cap to you, my friend, because you nailed this a couple of weeks ago here on Locked On when I was touting that front line and that defensive front and saying they're going to get after the quarterback and Judon's healthy and, Devon Godchaux's playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder.
Yep.
Barmore is ready to break out. You're touting the secondary, and that was very wise and very astute on your part because Christian Gonzalez rounding into form. He's healthy now.
Yep.
Jonathan Jones, Marcus Jones in the slot, and the gentleman
Love
I
it.
mentioned here yesterday is one of those
Yep.
unsung heroes that you love. I called it a Bolden prediction, and I know you
Yep.
love it. Grin from ear to ear. Isaiah Bolden had a pass breakup today,
He
showing
did.
he can get the job done
He
in the
did.
field as well as in the return game. Patriots got something special brewing here in this defensive backfield.
Yeah. I might have to get another Bolden jersey. I have two now. Might
Absolutely.
have
I
to
may
get another
join
one.
you. I absolutely love Isaiah's game. Great guy, great
Yep.
player, and I really can't wait to see what he can do this year. But of course, you want to see him doing it against other quarterbacks,
Right.
not against your own. But there is something to be said about that because these quarterbacks
Right.
are being tested by a great
They are.
secondary. And to me, iron sharpens iron. That's exactly how you're going to be able to do this. I thought a good day for the quarterbacks, good day for the
It
defensive backs,
was.
a good first day all the way around.
And like I said, just pump the brakes. I know you're all sitting there waiting for game one and get Drake May out there, and even some people in the comments from the last show talking about, well, the best players play. The best players don't always look like the best players when they're this young, this inexperienced, and quite frankly have taken 3 snaps under center in their entire life.
Yeah, that's a good point. And look, there is something to be said about playing the best players. Any
Yeah.
good coach will do that. But there's also a difference between having the best players play and doing what's best for the football team.
Right.
Sometimes those don't always intersect. I was impressed by what I saw from Jacoby. If he's going to be the guy to start this season, I think the Patriots will be in good hands. They'll be in capable hands. But I was very impressed by what I saw from Drake because the future is bright with this
Oh
kid.
yeah.
Just has to come together. But he's growing each and every time you see him on the field, and you love to see it, Murph.
You do. You really do. And I expect to continue to see this kind of growth going forward. And I can't wait to watch these guys. Put it all together, get the pads on, get the running game involved in it. See what this outside zone concept can do. We saw a bit of it today.
Mm.
With the rollouts that Drake was making, go one way, he's rolling out the other. Boom, Juju Smith-Schuster, who did. He looked fantastic today. He
Mm.
did
He
to
did.
steal something else. Not a limp, not a hitch in his step at all. And that could be scary for a couple of the younger guys on this team as to whether or not not whether or not they're going to make it, but if this
Mm.
keeps up, how much time they're going to spend on the field.
Right, exactly. Yeah, all of a sudden that wide receiver competition becoming a little bit more wide open. And sounds like a lot of things were clicking on all cylinders for the Patriots today. A pretty solid first outing for your favorite team from Foxborough. But if all eyes were on the quarterbacks, a lot of other eyes were on the offensive line as well. And I know yours was focused
Yeah.
on this line. Murph, a little bit of a different starting look today.
Right.
How much different? And what does it mean for the Patriots moving forward? Are we seeing a changing of the guard? Literally, Murph and I are going to answer that question and more when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast continues, a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Listen up, Locked On listeners. Your beloved boys from Boston have a homestand coming up at Fenway. You want tickets, but you're not quite sure how to go about getting them. Well, you're in luck because Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster, easier, and prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer you get to the first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, and views from your seat, and of course their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying Major League Baseball tickets. I particularly love Game Time's flash deals because you can save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or events like comedy, concerts, and so much more. And don't forget, with Game Time ticket coverage, your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. So again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDONNFL, that's LOCKEDON NFL, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Patriots fans, thank you once again for joining us here today on Locked On Patriots. It is day one of training camp, and we're recapping the action here. Myself, yours truly, and of course, the legendary Connor Murphy Fisto himself, my good friend Thomas Murphy. And Murph, in the previous segment, we talked about Maye's first day and how he had a hell of a first day.
Yep.
Jacoby Brissett had a pretty good first day back in the Foxborough fold.
He did.
Patriots receivers opening some eyes. Jalen Reagor, pretty good day. Juju Smith-Schuster, pretty good day. Defensive backs looking solid as well. We touted Isaiah Bolden, Christian Gonzalez, and Jonathan Jones. But there's been a recurring theme here on Locked On Patriots since the draft, and we've been talking a lot about the offensive line. It's an issue. Whether people want to acknowledge it or not, it is an issue. And how much of an issue, we're about to find out. The pads are not going to go on for about another week, maybe even more than that, Murph. But some eyebrows were raised by the unit that came out today. Of course, the man in the middle, David Andrews, solid as he gets. You're not going to see any deviation in that. But Michael Wenu once again aligning at right guard.
Right.
Calvin Anderson at right tackle.
Mr. Anderson.
Shifting over. Mr. Anderson, I stand corrected.
Anderson.
Shifting over to the left side, City So at the left guard position, and then Chuck Okorafor at the left tackle. Now, Murph, we've talked several times about combinations, permutations of this offensive line. When you saw this line come together, did this make you feel better about the Patriots' prospects on the offensive line? Did it kind of neutralize? Or did this make you feel a little bit worse about the unit they're potentially throwing out there to open the season?
You know, that's a good point in question, but it didn't make me feel better or worse. I was expecting to see what I saw today. You know, they're looking for the best 5 big sexies on this team. Okay. And it's going to take time to figure that out. Okay. I like the fact that Wallace wasn't just thrust in there to the starting right tackle position. I'm glad Mr. Anderson was here. He's a man with a lot more experience, you know, even on the right side than Wallace. It was nice to see on Wayu playing both positions. The fact that Mayo and Scott Peters are not married to him being the right tackle. It's going to take time to shake things out. When you don't have studly guys at every single position and go into a camp knowing what you have, this is what's going to happen. And you can expect to see more of this over the next few days.
Good point. Very good point. And Michael Wenu, after practice had concluded, spoke with the media and said, look, I'll do whatever they want me to do. Whatever number they call for me, whatever position they call for me, that's what I'll do.
Happy to
He's
be
ready to
here,
play guard and
hope
tackle.
to help the ball club. That's the mission. That's what you want to hear as a coach, and that's what this guy is is shouting from the rooftops. You know, send me out there at right guard all week long. Just let me know the night before that I'm playing right tackle. Okay, or vice
Absolutely.
versa. It doesn't matter to him. He signed a new contract. He's a very happy camper. He just wants to go out and play football. And luckily for everybody in New England that is cheering this team on, he's able to do it from multiple positions.
Absolutely. Well, very well said. And it was so good to see Mike back out there on the
Yeah,
field today. I
good
mean,
to
there
see
was a
Anderson
time
back out there too.
really wonderful to see Calvin,
Yeah,
without any question, possibly even more, just based off of everything he's had to go through this offseason. The bout with illness and then him coming back and being able to overcome that plus injury,
right.
with scary heart situation last year. I mean, this guy has been through an awful lot. And Calvin is really one of the great guys. He
He is.
truly is a humble, appreciative human being. And to see him back out on the field was really, really special. And look, I mean, if he's playing at a high level, people forget that the 2022 season in Denver was his best statistical season
Right.
since he's been a pro. 47% of Denver's offensive snaps he aligned on. He was only credited with giving up 2 sacks and 15 quarterback pressures. So this is a guy that, if he's healthy, can really make things
Yeah.
interesting. I think what you saw from Chuck Okorafor today is probably what you're going to get starting
Right.
in that position. And look, this is another guy that started predominantly at right tackle for the
Right.
Pittsburgh Steelers. He's seen time on the left. He's seen a little bit more than some of the others that we've talked about here on Locked On Patriots, about guys that could get the start on the left side. We've seen him also report in as an eligible tight end in jumbo
Right.
packages. We could see that. So Okorafor could be another guy that's very versatile and has a lot out there to be able to contribute. But bottom line, I think we're going to really see what this line is going to start to look
Yeah.
like when the pads come on in another week. I think you're
Right.
going to see a lot of different combinations. I think you'll see Caden Wallace at some point get a look at with the starters and the number 1 unit, just
Yep.
to see how he fares, if this kid's ready for prime time yet, or if he still needs a little seasoning. I think you'll see Layden Robinson get out there. They're going to give these guys a look. Antonio Mafi is someone that I think you could see get extended looks one-on-ones. These are the types of these early practices are the way that you find what the offensive line can do. And then when the pads come on, you start to try to get units together and you start to try to build a cohesive unit, a
Right.
unit that works as one, because you've said this eloquently for years here on Locked On Patriots. An offensive line has to be in sync in order
Right.
for it to be successful. And you can have all the individual talent in the world. If you don't have these guys working as a unit, it's not going to work.
No, it's not, and especially in this offense, in this stretch zone offense, they have to work together, and they also have to work with the running backs in almost perfect symmetry. Okay, this is not something that is to be trifled with. You get somebody, you get your running back killed if you're in the wrong place at the
Mm,
wrong time. You'll make the guy that's standing next to you look stupid. And believe me, nobody on an offensive line wants to make the guy standing next to him look stupid.
right.
You have to. It's almost a dance. This offensive scheme for the offensive line. They're going to have to get on the same page. This is what Bill tried to do a couple of years ago.
Mm,
And it's the reason that they drafted somebody that everybody just keeps on killing and keeps on killing, because he's perfect for this offense. And it's the reason that they drafted Doctor Strange,
mm,
and it's going to take time to work out, and they're behind the 8 ball here with
mm.
the moving pieces that they have. They tweaked guys in and out all afternoon, and they're going to keep on doing it until they find the guys that can dance together.
That's such a good point. And I found myself thinking that an awful lot today about how much I really wanted to see Cole in this
Yeah.
offense and see what he could do.
Yep.
I know there are a lot of people out there that are going to detract from him, that don't like the pick. And you know what? Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I'm not going to
Right.
argue with anyone one way or another, but I can tell you I've seen this kid work. And I've seen
Right.
his work ethic, and I've seen the type of effort that he puts in, and the desire that he has to want
And
to
how good
succeed
he is when
and
he's
want to
healthy.
excel. Absolutely. And he is. He is a very good guard, a very good interior offensive lineman when he's healthy. A guy that can play in the middle, a guy that can play on the right side or the left side. Had the great fortune of speaking to Rusty Wright, his college coach over at Chattanooga, very shortly after he was drafted. And he said that. He says, you're going to get a guy that's not going to work 110%. He's going to find a way to give you 120. And unfortunately, health just hasn't
That's
followed
it.
him from Chattanooga to New England. But I would have loved to see what he looked like today. And subsequent weeks in an Alex Van Pelt offense, because this is tailor-made for him. But such is the hand which the Patriots were dealt. I think City and I think Owenu, obviously at right guard, a position he knows well,
Right.
are going to be a solid tandem on the interior, helping out Andrews. It's going to be the tackles. It's going to be who settles into
Right.
those roles. To me, this is a battle I can't wait to watch. And the great thing about it is, folks, it's only just begun. We've just scratched the surface. And we're not done yet here on Locked On Patriots either, because another one of the most prominent Patriots took the podium after practice today. Linebacker Matthew Judon had an awful lot to say, and a lot of it made so much sense that it almost put Murph and I out of a job. But we're still going to break it down for you and give you our thoughts on Matthew Judon's comments, his performance, and what it means for the Patriots' future heading into Thursday and day 2 of training camp practices when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast wraps up right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On listeners, passion, drive, and patience is what brings home that winning trophy. You know what? It's also what keeps your ride or die alive. Our good friends over at eBay Motors have everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers to roof racks to exhaust kits, LED headlights, and so much more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber and not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Patriots fans, thank you once again for joining us here today on Locked On Patriots, and we hope that you make Locked On Patriots your first listen each and every day and a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage. If you do, our sincere thanks, a tip of the cap, and always our unending appreciation for all of the time you spend with us. If you've made us your first listen each and every day, I encourage you to make your second listen our good friends over at Locked On NFL. All the latest storylines from all 32 NFL teams, brought to you by the local experts you will only find here on the Locked On Podcast Network. This network employs the best of the business for a reason, and folks, you will not be disappointed. I have the good fortune of making several guest shots on Locked On NFL, as do all of our hosts here on the Locked On Network. So download, subscribe to, follow wherever you're getting your podcasts to ensure you're getting their latest episode as soon as it's available. And of course, to make sure you're getting the latest episode of Locked On Patriots. And here today with me is my good friend, the Conor Murphy Fisto himself, the legendary Thomas Murphy. Murph, we've talked Drake Maye, we've talked offensive line, but we're going to flip the script here a little bit, and we're going to talk about the defense, because there are a lot of eyes on the defense right now. And both Matthew Judon and Davon Godchaux right now, I don't want to say embroiled in contract talks or stalls or anything like that, but they are progressing in their desire to get a new contract. Definitely not a stretch of the imagination to say that for Davon, and it's certainly not for Matthew Judon. He was very vocal about how he feels about his contract. After practice, he took the time to meet with the media and had some very interesting things to say about his situation and what he's going to be out there on the field. Murph, the biggest takeaway from this for me was one of the reasons why we admire Matthew so much. He is not going to be a distraction. He's going to do his job on the field. He's going to do it to the best of his ability. And he's also going to work behind the scenes tirelessly to make himself happy so he can stay here for the long term. What were your thoughts on Matthew's approach? What were your thoughts on Matthew's comments? And how does it make you feel about prospects of remaining here in New England long term?
I think it's admirable. I thought it was quite dignified.
But now that we know that Matthew is going to play, there's not going to be a holdout situation. It's not going to be acrimonious. He came right out and said he absolutely does not want to be traded. I believe hell no was the way he answered that question. Unless the Patriots are thinking something drastic here, he's going to be in New England this season. How much does he enhance that front seven by being here and being motivated as much as he is?
Immensely. Okay, it can almost not be counted as to what he means to this defense, even though it's already a great defense. He's a fantastic athlete that knows this game, knows this defensive scheme, and opens up so much more for everybody else.
Mhm.
Okay, as good as things were last year, they were even better when he was able to be on the field. And you can expect to see more of that. And it's not like this man is injury prone. It's not like he's spending time in the tub nursing nagging things. He was blew out a bicep, for Christ's sakes.
Mhm.
He wasn't in there with a sore hammy. He wasn't in there. He was out there on the field when there was turf toe happening. It's almost Dante Hightower esque what
Mhm.
this man brings to this team, and the
Very,
fact
very
that
well said.
he does not sit out. It takes an injury like this to keep him off the field. He's a leader out there. He's a winner out there, and this Patriots defense can carry this team to maybe 2 or 3 more wins with him on the field.
Without question. Absolutely, without question. And again, we've talked about this several times. His ability to be a facilitator as well as being a premier
Right.
pass rusher, how much he helps guys like Christian Barmore and Joshua Uche. They play so much better and are so much more confident in their game when you know you have someone with the talent of Matthew Judon commanding the attention of opposing offensive lines and opposing blockers. It definitely is something that the Patriots will relish this year, having him in the fold. And again, bottom line, I mean, the Patriots played well last year without
Right.
him, but he can counter that by saying, imagine how much better we can be with him in the lineup. I think it's going to be a fun
You
year
don't
to watch Matthew Judon.
you don't have to do anything but go ask Juwan Bentley, or go ask Josh Uche, go ask Raekwon McMillan, go ask
Mm,
Jelani Tavai, who just signed his big contract extension. Um, I understand that the man is not 24 anymore, but he still brings it every single down,
he
and he
does.
brings it like nobody else on this team can do. All right, outside of Christian Gonzalez, he's the best defender on this team.
Yeah, without any question. And bottom line, I think it's going to, again, I think it comes down to it being a very fun year to watch, Matthew. Patriots are going to have a lot of questions to answer, and knowing that they have someone as capable as Matthew Judon at the
Right,
linebacker position, helping to navigate this front seven, is going to be a huge plus for this team and definitely a boost that they've needed. You
right,
mentioned Gonzalez. He's going to be another one that's going to give this team a boost. A lot of guys that were injured last year, Marcus Jones being another
yeah.
one, that are coming back. A lot of links now being fastened, so that way
A
this
very good
defense.
Yeah, a very good defense last year, a top 10 defense that is getting back 3 of its best players.
Mhm. Absolutely, without question. And again, you're also adding years on from guys that had career years last
Yeah,
year. Anthony Jennings for
right,
one, Jelani Tavai for another. These guys are now rounding into form and becoming strong members of this front seven, strong members of this defense.
right.
Jabril Peppers last year, no question about it.
The only thing that I can see that's keeping this and Devon Godchau's contracts in limbo is the fact that the Patriots have, I think, the second or the third pick on waivers. They're second or third in the waiver order right now, and
Mm.
maybe they're waiting for somebody to get cut, somebody to get dropped that has a massive contract, and they can swoop in and grab him, possibly that guy that could solidify this offensive line.
It's funny that you mentioned that because Matthew did have a quote. He did mention something similar about that and mentioned the inner workings of what Elliott is trying to do. I'm going to read his quote
Okay,
verbatim here because I do think
I
it's
didn't hear
cryptic
this,
that you
folks. I
mentioned that.
did. I
No, I
didn't
know
hear
he
this.
didn't, and that's why
Yeah,
I'm trying. That's why I'm going to do this. They're trying to do what's best for the team, rightfully so and understandable. They're trying to put us in the right spot to win games and leverage everybody's contract in the right situation. Make sure the salary cap is right. So when we get in a tough spot later on in the year, we can sign players and whatnot. It's not up to me what they do with me. I'd pay myself a lot of money and then just be cool with it.
right.
Everybody had a nice laugh there when Matthew said that. But bottom line, he did say it's not up to me. It's up to the team to decide my value. I know I'm under contract and I'm going to continue to play as such. But I think it's very interesting that you mentioned that, because Matthew was well aware of it too. So maybe that factors in, maybe that helps him to understand what the Patriots are doing. I don't know. That's Matthew betting on himself an awful lot heading into the final year of his contract. But if he's confident in the team and in and of himself, it could be a risk worth taking. We'll find out in the long run.
It for him, yes. For the Patriots, it could be really expensive. I'm saying get this done now, because if he goes out and has the year that he's capable of having, and he's able to walk, you're not going to be able to afford it.
Absolutely, because there will be a team out there that
Yep.
will pay him top dollar and more than what the Patriots are
The
willing
cap's
to
not
offer.
just going up for the Patriots, people.
Right. Absolutely. It's not. There are going to be a lot of teams with a lot of money to spend next year. But Murph, we haven't even begun this season yet. We are one
No.
practice deep, and there's still a lot of training camp left, folks. If you're heading to Gillette, either toward the end of this week or over the weekend, please continue to do so in a safe manner. But
Right.
it's a great atmosphere. The Patriots have done a great job again. Gillette and the surrounding areas look amazing. It's fun for the whole family. It really is a great day out, and you get to see some of your favorite players take the field up close and personal. And on that note, my friend, I do want to thank you for joining me here today, because we couldn't kick off training camp without the wisdom, the counsel, and the know-it-all fashion of my good friend, Thomas Murphy. Floor is yours, my friend. Before I let you go, please let everyone know where they can reach out to you and what you got marinating in Murph's kitchen between now and the next time you show up here on Locked On Patriots.
Yeah, I'm making some sauce. I got sausage and meatballs just cooking over there, and that's just about it. Like I said, it's my playoff season here with my kids, my 16U team. So I'm basically doing that. I'll check it on Twitter every once in a while. Luckily, I was able to head up there today. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that again this week. But no, drop Mike a line, and he'll be happy to come over and sign a few autographs.
Absolutely, folks. And you know what? It's always fun, and you never know when Murph's going to show up. So try to be there each and every day, because you don't want to miss him. And on that note, we thank all of you for continuing to make Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage, and hopefully a continual part of your New England Patriots training camp coverage. Still a lot more to come here this week, so be sure to download, subscribe, and follow wherever you're getting your podcasts to get the latest episode as soon as it's available. On behalf of my good friend, the Count of Murphy Fisto himself, the legendary Thomas Murphy, I'm Mike Debate, reminding you all to stay safe and to stay well, and to be the change you wish to see in the world. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow on Locked On Patriots.